Okay, good. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. There's a bit of a change in the schedule for, well, in the who's giving the talk. And as announced, Ajahn Amro, hoping all the technology works out, Ajahn Amro will be a guest speaker for the 8 p.m. talk tonight. And as for right now, I'll be giving. So maybe, since Ajahn Amro's giving the talk tonight, maybe I can actually just give a bit of a brief background why this is particularly special. He was the rabbits together, and so in that capacity for many years, he was actually the lead teacher for the Thanksgiving retreat, and I believe it was usually done at the Angela Center from Santa Rosa, which is nearby here, and so it's very special. We can have him talk about. I thought maybe just talk a little bit about Thanksgiving. Some of the people on Zoom and YouTube are not in America, and but culture, what American culture, for example, says about Thanksgiving, I think we can use that day on the calendar to our advantage as a reminder to express the importance of appreciation, actually it can be quite useful and beneficial to do it on a daily basis, especially if our practice is dry or we're having a difficulty with in the mind, to reflect on all the things we have to be appreciative of and grateful for. One of the and it appears various places, including the end of the Mill Link discourses, is the Buddha, after he gives a teaching, he ends it and he speaks to the monks, and he says to them, monks, what should be done by a teacher who has compassion of trees? There are these empty huts. Meditate, monks. Do not be negligent, lest you regret it later. And so this is it's a good reminder that the Buddha, he's done what he can to show us the way. I find it helpful, inspiring to think of the story of the Buddha, of having worked hard for a very, very long time to build up the qualities to become a Buddha, to help other beings go beyond all suffering. Practice for the sake of ourself doesn't resonate, isn't quite benefits others. Or one angle that can sometimes be effective is to practice out of gratitude for the Buddha and for all he's done for us. Or more than 2,500 years, that's quite a long time, and yet the teachings have been preserved quite well, and they're still they're still preserved intact, and there are still beings awakening this day, and it's quite amazing. this importance of gratitude, appreciation, thankfulness. In the monastic training, it comes up in various places. The second one is, my very life is sustained through the gifts of others. And then there's also 2 of the 227 rules is, I will receive alms food appreciatively, and I will eat alms food appreciatively for our own practice. Even if we feel like, I don't want to make the effort, I don't want to bother. Just acknowledging that our very life is sustained by gifts of others helps us for our practice. We can still think, that so many people have worked hard to make the teachings. You can't really pay back the people who have, often you can't pay back the people who have really helped us a great deal. But what we can do is we can live good lives and so this quality of thanksgiving, giving thanks, appreciation. As I was saying, when in our life and just think, or even just think today of just all the causes that have brought this together, that make it possible for us to hear the text. And hearing about the news in the world can bring up a lot of discouragement and despair, and it's been done. For example, if I look back at my own life, I can think, when I really first got interested in meditation was they organized this spring break trip to a meditation center for a 9-day retreat. And the meditation center itself offered, discounted fees, scholarship. And so many, various. And then when I was finishing up college and just not sure what to do, there was a woman, I think her name is Sumi Loudon, working at the Barry Center for Buddhist Studies, and gesture of taking some time and offering me some advice. It made a big impact on my life. And so we can each think of all the people who have have this opportunity to practice. I think one of the dangers, whether it's living in a monastery or even just having the Buddha's teachings, is that we can start to take them for granted, have the opportunity to practice. Also, on a perhaps similar note of this importance, it's one of the things we do here at Abhayagiri, which I think is quite skillful, is the resident the monastic community, every 2 weeks we have these circle meetings, and just to talk and sort of express appreciation for the good qualities of others, or the good things that others are doing. When we're committed to not talking too much, if there isn't that, then it can just be the only time it can seem like the only time you talk to somebody is when you have an issue or a problem, or maybe something you think that they should improve on. About this, the importance of seeing the goodness of others, even if somebody just has a little bit of goodness, because that fault-finding mind, which is all too common, I think perhaps a product of our culture, can be quite destructive. Where he says, when you live in a monastery, you start to think that 60 to 70% of the suffering in the entire world is caused by the person next to you in line. And so it just shows how the mind on the negative. This day of Thanksgiving is also a time is traditionally a time for families to gather, and I imagine it's greatly changed with the pandemic. Debt of gratitude to them. People vary in their relation to their parents, but if we survived up until now, it's because somebody take care of it. It's good. Our basic bodily functions, and so even if we just survived, we have people to be grateful for, let alone all the other things that parents. But then also in helping to bring forth goodwill and compassion, it can also be good to recollect the human family, or even beyond that, the family of all beings, that all of us are relatives in not getting what we want, getting what we don't want. Sometimes as a useful exercise, it can be living in think, oh, what difficulties has this person faced, or what difficulty has that person faced? And it helps to bring forth compassion, to think about the various ailments and struggles of others. Similarly, there are many. This can be a good reminder of the challenge of having a body and a mind, and all the difficulties and dysfunctions. So I don't really have too much, I think, more to say this morning, but maybe, express paid in, and it's good so many other people are able to participate, people who've never had the opportunity, who've also never had the opportunity, and yeah, appreciate the conditions that is in June 1st, 1996, Ajahn Amaro, and then Anagara Katam, I believe now Ajahn Kunamo, and ways has done quite well and grown, and is now able to offer this retreat, so we can recollect all the people who in so many ways have and continue. And in general, yeah, when we can consider perhaps even making this a daily practice to give thanks, to appreciate